Greetings, humans. You have entered the Command Zone, your destination for all aspects of Elder Dragon Highlander. Enjoy your stay.
All right, so let's not waste any time here.
Oh.
There's been something that kind of crazy that happened.
Yes, for the first time ever, we are seeing a card get banned before it is even printed and you're able to play with it in Commander. For the first time ever.
They've never banned a card before you could get your hands on it. In fact, the announcement for the banning of this card in Commander was made at the same time that the card was previewed.
Yeah, which is really insane. Obviously, this is something that people knew was coming, and so the decision was made. This is a new card from Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths, and the Commander Rules Committee that Josh is on the advisory group for made this decision to just get it out there as soon as this card was previewed.
Yeah, I am on the CAG, so I was part of this decision. We'll walk through all of that really quickly. Let's read what the card is that is banned or going to be banned. I'm not sure how to talk about it.
It's never even legal, never even given a shot.
It's either currently banned or it's about to be. It's from Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths, like Jimmy said. It is Lutri, the Spellchaser. It costs 1 and 2 hybrid Is-It mana, so 1 blue, 1 red, or 1 red-blue. It's a legendary creature, Elemental Otter. It's a 3/2.
That's why it's banned.
Yeah, it has Companion, so this is a new mechanic from Ikoria. It says each non-land card in your starting deck has a different name. So, and then in parentheses it says, if this card is your chosen companion, you may cast it once from outside the game. We'll talk about Companion in a minute. The Companion is the reason that it's banned. It has Flash, and it says when Lutri enters the battlefield, if you cast it, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. So it's dual caster mage, kind of like a slightly worse version of it. We've seen that before.
Yeah, plenty of times.
Yeah. So Companion is the real question here.
Yeah, it's a brand new mechanic introduced in Ikoria. It's unlike anything we've ever seen before. So the way that Companion works in Commander is that you only get to have one companion. And
it actually works this way in all formats.
All formats. Okay. So any deck that has, for instance, each 9-line card in your starting deck has a different name is allowed to have Lutri the Spellchaser as their companion, barring color restrictions. You have to meet the criteria as well.
Yeah, we should say each companion has a different criteria. So for Lutri, it's each non-land card in your starting deck has a different name.
Yes.
But that's a different companion can have. There's one that's like all the CMC of your spells has to be even.
Yeah.
And then, well, here, let's read another companion. It's Karuga the Macrosage. You want to read it?
Yep. So it's 3 green-blue hybrid. So 3 Simic, so you can play 3 green-green, 3 blue-blue, or 3 green-blue. Companion. Your starting deck contains only cards with converted mana cost 3 or greater and land cards. When Karuga enters the battlefield, draw a card for each other permanent you control with converted mana cost 3 or greater. So
Karuga likes big spells, and if you have small spells in your deck, then Karuga cannot be your companion. We're just showing this to sort of let you know how Companion works. The other way Companion works is that the Companion card starts as basically your 101st card in Commander. It doesn't count as part of your deck. It starts outside the game. It can be cast as normal, and then once you cast it, it becomes just like any other card in your deck. If it dies, it goes to your graveyard, bounce back to your hand, blinked, whatever. It will still work as a normal card at that point. The companion doesn't matter anymore.
So as far as we're concerned, this is the only time we've ever seen the ability to add an extra card to your deck outside of the game. So this would count as the 101st. And Lutri, of course, is not going to be amongst those that you can choose as a companion for your deck.
Yeah, now because it's banned.
Yep.
So the question we have here is, before we get into the discussion, I guess I should just state for the record that I was in favor of the banning. So when we had the meeting with the rules committee, I was actually like, yeah, I think we should ban this card. And in fact, Jimmy,
yes,
because we get to look at these cards in advance.
With game nights and all that.
Yeah, because of game nights. We were looking through the set, I don't know, 5-6 weeks ago.
Yep.
And Jimmy, actually, you called me into the room and were like, hey.
I almost stood up from my computer and went, well, hey, Josh, what is this and why? I didn't know how it worked exactly, but I just saw the card and I said, this is not good. This can't be right.
Yeah, Jimmy was like, something's wrong. This is busted. Companion doesn't work in Commander, right? And I was like, actually, it does work in Commander. So you can have your companion, you meet the criteria, you get the card, everything. It's just like Standard or something else.
Yeah.
And Jimmy was like, no, this card's busted then.
Yeah, it's busted because you look at all the other companion spells, they all have different criteria to be met. Lutri is the only one that specifically has a companion criteria that basically reads Commander all over it because it says each non-land card in your starting deck has a different name, which has to happen in every commander deck unless you're playing Shadowborn Apostles or you're doing a pack rat kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not a restriction in our format. It's just every deck, basically.
So why is it banned, Josh?
Because of that, it basically will go in every blue and red deck.
Yeah, not just every blue and red deck, any deck that can play blue and red.
Right, it's not only
every
right?
single
Temur
5-color
decks
deck
get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeskai decks get it. 5-color decks get it. And because it functions as a card that's basically in your starting hand, right? Is it even better because it can't be like Thoughtseized or something. But it's a card you have access to if you have blue and red in your deck, and there's no other thing that fills that space. There's no reason not to just put Lutri there if you have the colors, because it costs you nothing. If you never cast it, no big deal. If it was just a 3/2 with flash and no abilities, it would be the same, because you may as well just start with that in your hand at no cost.
Yeah, and have access to it the entire game, and it has flash. The card itself is also powerful, and blue and red decks are spell-based decks generally, so like you just have an extra card.
It's just objectively wrong to not run the card if your deck is in those colors, right?
You even could just have one instant or sorcery in your deck, and it's still great.
You could have 0.
Yeah.
You might want to flash it in as a blocker.
Yeah.
So it just is a card. And people are comparing it. Oh, Soul Ring goes in every deck and Mana Crypt goes in every deck. First of all, there are some decks where those cards are not correct to run. It's few.
Yeah.
It's very few, but they do exist. Second of all, those cards do not start the game in your hand.
And they take up a spell slot in your deck.
You have to draw them. It's a card you drew. This is a card that some decks just get an extra card to start the game. It's just so powerful. I would estimate that like 65 or 70% of all Commander games, if this was legal, would see a Lutri
in action. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not just that it goes in every deck, it's that every deck starts with it in the opening hand.
Yeah, and there's no reason not to run it, not to mention that, we already have colors that we know are underpowered in Commander. Just giving a step up to other decks that are running blue and red just to automatically always have this thing, or not necessarily always have it. Well, basically, there's no reason not to have it. It just creates an imbalance out of nowhere for no reason.
So, Jimmy, I was going to ask you if you're in agreement with the ban, but it feels like we already know the answer to that question.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when I saw the card, the first thing that went to my head was like, this can't be allowed in Commander. It creates way too much of an uneven edge. Every single person that has blue and red in their deck will run this or should run it, and then that means the price is going to go up. It's going to be hard to get. It's just going to be one of those cards that people look at and go, like, man, of course.
I need 12 of these or whatever.
Yeah, great. I have 5 decks that have blue and red in them. There's no reason I shouldn't have a single Lutri for all those decks.
That leads us into some of the questions people have been asking, and we'll try and answer them quickly here. One was, why ban the card before release? Why not give it a chance in the wild?
This is one of those few times where I think it's just right. It just makes so much sense based on all the points we just made that there's no reason not to just be like, no, we just don't allow it. It's going to create too much of an imbalance just out of the gate, so just get rid of it.
When we were having a discussion with the Rules Committee and the Commander Advisor Group, I said, is there a world where this doesn't get banned? Can we imagine it being like, no, that's fine? And pretty much everyone's like, no, it's probably going to get banned. And I'm like, well, if that's the case, we should ban it right away, first thing, because it actually saves people out there from
specking on it.
A lot of feel bads. Not just specking, just like, hey, I want this, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
It might be expensive. Also, like, spending a lot of time brewing around it, getting excited about all the different possibilities. I think it's just much better to be like, listen, don't waste your time on this card. Yeah. Don't waste your money on this card, especially right now, the way the economy is going and everything. I don't even want anybody to waste $2.
Yeah.
Who knows what it would have cost, but that was definitely a reason that I was in favor of, like, let's just come out and ban it right away, because I can't imagine that it's not going to get banned eventually. Let's just do it now. Even
if every single Magic player in the world woke up and had a Lutri under their pillow, I would still want to ban, because it's still giving a disproportionate advantage to decks that have these colors.
Right. Yeah. I don't think that's the main reason, but that was a reason to may as well do it early. Yeah. A lot of people asking, why is it not just banned as companion? So you remember we used to have a banned as commander category.
Separate ban list,
and they were like, no, it's too complicated. Let's just only have one ban list. And I think that even more so applies here, because companion is a mechanic. We haven't seen exactly how many companions are going to be in this set, but it's not going to be 100. It's probably like low double digits of companions. And it doesn't make sense, I think, to create an entirely new rules category for one problematic card.
And who knows if they're going to reprint companion in the future, if this is just an Ikoria thing. Like, there are often sets and mechanics that only have mechanics tied to that set. And this is, I think, potentially one of those cases. So again, don't overcomplicate things. This card is just problematic. And it's not like you can't get this effect otherwise.
Yeah, there's dual caster mage if you want to play it in your 99. also people are like, well, it's legendary, it's cute, it's an otter, I want to run it as my commander. I would say if you go to your play group and you're like, hey, I'm not going to run this as companion, I'd like to run it as my commander, is that okay? Most play groups are going to be totally fine with it.
Yeah. There are also better options in blue and red if you're going to try and do this sort of thing, I think. But
yeah, banning it as companion just wasn't really an option. The next question people are asking is, okay, well, why not just ban all companions? Because if you look at companion as a mechanic, it makes sense that Wizards R&D was like, you know what people like? Commander. What if we could create a mechanic that made other formats like Commander? That's kind of what this is, right?
Yeah. It's something you can always cast and quote unquote in standard to be your command zone in a way, but it's really just outside the game.
So people were like, well, does Commander need that? Because we already have that. So why not just ban all companions? Like say companion doesn't work in Commander. And we didn't think that was appropriate, or I didn't advise that was appropriate because it's a new splashy mechanic from the new set. You want to open cards in the new set and be excited and be able to play them. I don't like banning things, as we know.
Yeah.
So I thought it was like, we didn't get to see all the companions, but this is the one that was flagged by the people inside Wizards as like, hey, this might be problematic. You guys should look at it. And to me, it's like, if the rest of them, like Karuga and the ones we've seen, are not problematic, let people have fun with those cards if it doesn't seem like they're going to immediately break the format.
At least this way you can test those ones out. But we just know for a fact, because of the text on Lutri, the companion criteria is just way too perfectly matched for Commander.
And the last question we're going to talk about here that people are asking is, does companion change how the sideboard / wish cards work in Commander? A lot of people have been asking for a sideboard in Commander so they can use wish cards, and now they're making the argument, well, this starts outside the game, and therefore that's changing
the sideboard. Yeah.
Listen, this is not going to change the way Commander currently works. I understand people are trying to use this banning and this to like buffer arguments and about other things, and that's just kind of how this goes. But
probably not a one-for-one comparison.
I mean, one thing I've learned from the CAG is that I'm way out of my depth as far as how the rules work, because you've got like all these level 5 judges and like people that just know the rules inside and out. They'll figure out a way to make this work so that it makes sense. Ask Sheldon Memory or somebody. But the real heart of it is that like they want companions to be able to work the ones that aren't broken. They'll figure out a way to make it work. They don't want sideboards and wish cards to work, so that's still going to remain the way it is. It's not. You're not going to find some sort of wording loophole and be like, "Ha
gotcha.
My lawyers, they're going to be calling you, and now you're going to have to make sideboards work."
Yeah. The game, as you know it, is still the same. Do you think Lutria's Paradox Engine good?
It's not probably as powerful, right?
But it does have almost, I'd say, equal effect in terms of how much it's going to shift over the dynamic of the format.
Right. I don't think it has to do with exactly the top end power of it. The fact that it gives like an undue advantage to just a certain color combination, and also just like the ubiquity that it would cause, right? Like, do we really want it to be like, okay, Lutri is basically going to show up in every single game I play?
Yeah, and every single person that wants it is going to need it, and every single person that wants to play it, it's just too much.
Yeah, okay.
I'm fine with it. Goodbye, Lutri. You were very cute.
That's the real big downside. If Lutri was like a really ugly card with white borders that nobody wanted to play, probably no one would be complaining about it, right?
Yeah, no one wanted to double sleeve that.
That was the answer. Print it in white border.
Yeah, Lutri is not only banned, but it's white bordered, so no one feels as bad.
Okay, this was a really quick video because this was an important breaking news announcement that we wanted to cover. We've got a lot of bonus content coming up in the coming days. In fact, tomorrow, Saturday, all of next week, covering the brand new Commander product and Ikoria Layer of Behemoth stuff. So hit that notification button so that make sure you're subscribed to our channel, then hit the notification button so you can get all that awesome stuff.
Tons of great content coming up, and we will see you on the flip side, everyone. Bye.
Thank you for your attention. For further inquiries, send an email to commandcast@rocketjump.com or ask us on Twitter @JFWong and @JoshLeeQuai. See you later, alligator.
Greetings, humans.